We're going to take you live now to Melbourne, where Victorian authorities are delivering an update on the floods and severe weather.
Over 3 months' rain recorded in Heathcote in a 24-hour period. This resulted in flash flooding at numerous locations, particularly overnight just north of Bendigo. There have been over 38 rescues, swiftwater rescues and rescues from floodwater, from people in their homes and driving through floodwater, and some of those others that are caught up in the flash floods. A special thank you to the police and emergency service personnel, including SES, that assisted with those rescues, because they're quite dangerous, and assisted with helping people through those floodwaters. Numerous houses across those areas have been impacted by the rains and the storms, and relief centres are now open at Bendigo, Seymour, Yea, and Echuca is opening at the moment for the risk of flooding at Rochester. There have been widespread road closures across the state as well, so again we remind people to take care around flooded rivers and creeks and waterways, and please do not drive through flood water. We can expect to see more rain across the state. It's still raining now and will continue to do so as it moves across to the east and the northeast of the state. There are major flood warnings currently for Rochester and Seymour, and flooding at Shepperton and Wangerator is expected midweek. If you are in a flood-impacted area or a flood-prone area, please have a flood plan. Know what you're going to do if those rains continue to occur. Monitor the Vic Emergency app and listen to local broadcasters. If you are leaving, leave early. If you decide that you are staying at your location, please ensure that you have enough supplies to last at least 3 days. As I said, driving through floodwater seems to continue, even though we constantly urge community not to do so. Police and emergency services have to continue to put themselves at risk to assist people who do drive through floodwaters. Cars don't float for very long, and they end up causing serious risk to people in them and can potentially cause loss of life. So please listen to the warnings and don't drive through floodwater. A particular message for campers and those visiting or fishing along rivers, tents and rivers, streams and creeks. There is risk of flash flood, and there's also the risk of falling trees and limbs. So again, we ask campers to be really mindful of their surroundings and know the risk when they're there. Finally, I'd like to conclude by thanking all of the agencies and volunteers for their brilliant ongoing support to assisting community during their time of need. Their tireless work helps keep the community safe, and they've been working round the clock. So again, I really want to thank our agency personnel and volunteers for their great work. I'll now hand over to Michael from the Bureau.
Thank you, Commissioner. We've seen significant rainfall across the state over the last 36 hours, especially over central parts around the Heathcote region, around 184 millimetres of rain falling in just 24 hours. At Reedsdale, we've seen 117 millimetres falling there. That's a daily record for any month with over 120 years of data. So significant rainfall there. Also at Bendigo, 92 millimetres falling in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. today, another record there with over 90 years of data. We still have a significant tropical air mass across the state at the moment, bringing moderate to heavy falls to central and eastern parts of the state, so still a severe thunderstorm warning is out for the northeast for heavy and potentially intense rainfall, and also a severe weather warning for parts of the east as well. The good news is that through the rest of this afternoon and into the evening, we are going to see that rain contracting to the east of the state and then clearing into the early hours of Tuesday. And so for Tuesday and pretty much the rest of the week, we'll just see some isolated shower and thunderstorm activity. So certainly not looking at the heavy rainfall that we have seen over the last couple of days, but still a very humid and unstable air mass over Victoria. Happy to take any questions.
How much rain has Rochester seen and Seymour in particular, I guess, over the last 24 hours?
Yeah, so in that area, Rochester, around 125 millimetres, so They've actually broken their daily record there for any month, with records going back over 120 years. So significant rainfall totals in that region.
That is where we leave Victorian authorities providing an update on the flooding situation in that state. As you can see there on your screen, 184 millimetres of rain has fallen in 24 hours in the Heathcote region, but also in Bendigo they have had at least 93 millimetres of rain, which is likely to be a January record. Authorities there confirming that there have been multiple flood rescues so far and that numerous houses have been impacted. And residents in the town of Seymour in Victoria's Goulburn Valley have now been ordered to evacuate immediately. So the usual warnings apply: do not go into the flood water and have a plan in place. We will, of course, be bringing you the latest on that situation throughout the afternoon.